My name is Lori Rubenstein-Fazio, and I am a clinical professor of yoga and health at Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles. I'm very happy to share with you a practice that has been created to cultivate calm and compassion during this COVID time. When we have stress, our muscles tense, particularly our back and neck muscles. Those are our orienting muscles. Where is the threat and how do I get out of here? So we're going to start with a little warm-up to release those muscles. We're going to work with the breath. We're going to have our physical body doing some challenging things. And then we're going to add in one more layer. So there is a practice, a compassion practice that is oftentimes, it's very familiar in Buddhist meditation, a loving kindness or metta meditation. We're going to take one piece of that. We're going to create a mantra or even a sankalpa, an intention. So it's going to be a phrase that we're going to use throughout the practice, just one sentence of that longer meditation. And these sentences could be something like, may I be healthy, may all beings be healthy. Classically, we start with may I, may you, may all beings. And for this practice today, we will go with may I and may all beings. So you can choose what resonates with you. Could be something like may I be healthy, may I be loving, may I be loved, may I know ease, may I know peace. You may even want to phrase it as if it's already happening, such as I am love, all beings are love. So choose one that resonates with you, and during the practice we're going to put it into the practice. So let's begin. So we're going to begin first by just warming up our joints. And we're going to warm up the neck, just letting it gently roll, kind of releasing the tension. And then some shoulder circles backwards. Many of us are spending lots of time at the computer or on Zoom, and our bodies have taken this forward posture. So the practices that we're going to do today are meant to counteract that position. And when we're in that slouched posture, it actually can make us feel a worse mood, more depressed. And so we're going to try to open that up. We're going to open up the side body so that we can breathe better by lifting the right hand up. You can place the left hand on the floor. And side bend, and then inhale into this rib cage. We want to expand the ribs for easier breath. And exhale slowly. Again, inhaling and exhaling. And placing the right hand down on the floor and bringing the left hand up over to the side. Inhaling, expanding the left side of the rib cage. Exhaling, inhaling, and exhaling, and back up. These practices that we're going to do can be done in a chair, and I'll show you a little bit of a modification in a moment. And then we'll take a gentle twist. So we're going to start by twisting the belly button and then the sternum to the left. And then you can let your right hand place on the left knee to gentle twist, and then really expand the ribs as you breathe. One more, inhaling and exhaling. And then coming back to center, turning the belly button and then the sternum to the right, placing the left hand on the right knee, the right hand behind, and inhaling, expand the rib cage. Exhaling, relax. Inhaling, expand the rib cage, and exhaling, relax. And then coming back to center. And we're going to warm up the spine. So if you are sitting on something, you might want to remove it now. We can have something to sit on to keep our spine straighter. And again, you can do this in a chair. And we're going to warm up the spine. So a lot of tension's held in the spine. So as we inhale, we're going to come forward onto the front of the sit bones. And then exhaling backwards, the belly comes back to the spine. Inhaling and exhaling. Focusing on the movement happening in the pelvis and the lower spine. So inhaling as you come forward, exhaling as you come back. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. I'm going to start to let that come up the spine, so start to engage more of the spine. Inhaling, lifting the heart, exhaling, curling down. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Let's go to the other side. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. One more time. And then coming back to center. And then just relaxing, letting the breath regulate. I'm just going to take a moment to show you what we're going to be doing on the floor, how you can do this in a chair. So a lot of the practices that I'm going to do can be difficult on the knees. So you can do the whole practice in a chair. So you can do those circles in the chair. We're going to be doing a cat-cow that you can be doing in a chair. And when we do the kneeling sequence that we're going to do, you may want to stay here and do the whole practice seated. If you'd like to challenge a little more, you can stand and sit back down. And when we do the crescent or lunge positions, you can place one foot in front, the toes of the back foot, and that might be enough of a challenge. Or you can stand up and create this lunge in this position. So that all these practices can be done in a chair. I'm going to show you doing them on the ground. So we're going to start off with a cat-cow. So you're going to place your hands under the shoulders and your knees under the hips. And we're going to start off by inhaling and letting the tailbone tilt. Exhaling, the pelvis tilts under. So inhale, the pelvis tilts, the whole spine goes into a back bend. And exhaling, curling the tailbone, the nose towards the navel. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. One more time. Inhaling and exhaling. And then you can stretch your hips back towards your heels. Either stretch the arms out or have your arms by your side into a child's pose. If it's accessible, allow your forehead to rest on the ground. And you can breathe in this position a few times, letting the rib cage expand. Inhaling and exhaling. One more time, inhaling and exhaling. And then coming up into a kneeling position. If this is uncomfortable on the knees, you may want to take a block between your heels and you can sit on the block. It will take some pressure off the knees, or you can even sit on a blanket. So in this kneeling position, we're going to do the same cat-cow. But first, we're going to focus on establishing the steady breath. So oftentimes we'll count a 4-count inhale, a 4-count exhale, a 5-count inhale, a 5-count exhale. We're going to use that mantra from the metta meditation as our time marker. So we're going to start off with the breath first. establishing a nice slow inhalation and then a nice slow exhalation. So inhaling and exhaling. And as you inhale, the belly expands, and as you exhale, the belly draws in. Now start to exaggerate that, so on the inhale, the pelvis tilts forward, allowing the belly to expand more. And as you exhale, the belly draws in, the pelvis draws back. Inhale, the belly expands into an anterior pelvic tilt, the back arches. And as you exhale, it draws back in into a posterior pelvic tilt. Let's let that expand up the spine so that the whole spine starts to sway. Inhaling into this arching, lifting the heart, perhaps even lifting the head. Exhaling, the pelvis tilts back, the belly draws in, the heart draws back. Inhaling and exhaling. Now let's add in the mantra from the Metta meditation. I'm going to be using "May I be loving, may all beings be loving." But choose what resonates for you. I'm going to start off with my hands on the heart, exhaling, "May I be loving." And as I inhale, silently repeating slowly, "May all beings be loving," extending the arms outward. Curling backwards, drawing the hands to the heart slowly, "May I be loving. May all beings be loving. May I be loving." So continue this as you silently, slowly recite the mantra. That will be your time marker to keep the breath steady and slow. Now we're going to start to add some physical challenge to this, and only go as far as you can go without joint discomfort. So as I inhale, I'm going to raise up on the knees, "May all beings be loving." And exhaling, slowly drawing back, "May I be loving. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. May all beings be loving. May I be loving." This time we're going to stay up. "May all beings be loving. May I be loving." If you want to add complexity for the brain, it's going to increase more blood flow to the brain. Each time your hands come back, start with a different hand on your heart so it switches. Now what we're going to do is take one foot forward. I'm going to start with the right. So I'm into this half lunge. And as I inhale, I'm going to slightly lunge forward. "May all beings be loving." And then come backwards, "May I be loving." Just warming up and stretching the front of that hip. "May all beings be loving. May I be loving." Be gentle, because if you've been sitting for a long time, this area can get very tight. And we're slowly starting to loosen it. There's also a muscle here called your psoas muscle that's involved in breathing. And when we have stress, we oftentimes hold our breath. That muscle gets tense, and so we want to be gentle. Let's try that 2 more times. Inhaling, "May all beings be loving." Exhaling, "May I be loving." Now I'm going to tuck the toes of the back leg under, and on the inhalation, raising up, "May all beings be loving," and exhaling back down, "May I be loving." The important thing here to train your nervous system is that you keep the breath steady the whole time. You keep the steady inhale and steady exhale. Doesn't really matter if you're losing your balance, that will come with time. The focus to train the nervous system to be more resilient is keeping a steady inhale and a steady exhale and a calm mind. So let's try that 2 more times. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. One more time, staying up. And then exhaling the hand to the heart. You may want to stay up here. If this is a bit of a challenge, you can place the back heel down. Straighten the front leg. And as we inhale, we will be bending the front knee to get to greater stretch, keeping the pelvis as forward as possible. Inhaling, may all beings be loving, bending the knee. Exhaling, straightening back. Inhaling, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. 2 more times. Focus this time on the sensation of sending love and feeling love. Focus the sensation, even thinking of sense of love in your body. Sending love outward, bringing love inward. 1 more time. Allow the breath to regulate. We're going to raise up on the back heel. Bend the front knee slightly. You might want to bring the back leg in. This might be enough. You can stay here and continue. Or you may want to lean forward, lift the back leg up. I'll bring my arms forward here. And exhaling, hands to the heart. Inhaling, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. Inhaling, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. 1 more time, steady, comfortable breath. And as you exhale, bring the back leg down and straighten the front leg. Now find your balance, pelvis forward, and keeping the front leg slightly bent, especially if you have back issues. If you're really flexible, keep the front leg straight. And as you inhale, you can come forward. And as you exhale, you can come back. Inhaling forward, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. 1 more time. Inhaling and exhaling. Then bending the front knee. You can bend the back knee back to the ground. Bring the other leg to the ground. Sitting your heels back, and then we'll extend back into a child's pose. You can have your arms out in front or down by your side and take a moment to relax, let go of the breath. You can keep the mantra going and just allow your breath to regulate. Now we'll go to the other side. So again, establishing the breath, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. Inhaling, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. May all beings be loving. And then stay up here. May I be loving. We're going to bring the left foot forward. And again, adjust yourself to protect your knee. You might want something underneath. And inhaling, slightly lunging forward. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. Inhaling, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. One more time. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. Each time, try to cultivate the sensation of love or health or ease, whatever your mantra is. I'm going to tuck the toes in on the back leg, and as we inhale, we will lift up. May all beings be loving. Exhaling back down, may I be loving. May all beings be loving. Whoa, balance. May I be loving. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. May all beings be loving. Staying up here, may I be loving. Woo! So you may notice your balance is better on one side or the other. It's pretty common. If it's challenging, you might want to press the back heel down. Pressing the back heel down can also help stretch out the front of the hip a little bit more. So choose what feels better for you. Front leg is straight, pelvis points forward, and as we inhale, keeping weight in that back knee, bending the front knee, inhaling, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, straightening the leg, may I be loving. Inhaling, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. Inhaling, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. One more time, hold it out there. May all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. You can straighten that front leg. And shift your weight forward, bending the front leg a little bit. I'm going to move back so you can see me here. Bending the front leg, lifting up the heel of the back leg if it was down, feeling the weight of the front leg. We're going to shift the weight forward. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. Pressing the back leg down, straightening the front knee. Adjust your feet so that you can have your pelvis straight ahead. Straightening the front leg if you're flexible. Bending it to protect the back. Choose what feels better for you. And as you inhale, flexing forward at the hips. Inhaling, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. One more time. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. You can lift up the back heel, bend the knees, place your knee back down, back onto both knees, sitting back down, coming back into child's pose and allowing the breath to regulate. And then coming back up, we're going to come down onto our stomachs. And you can place your hands so that they're next to your chest, fingertips just back from the shoulder. And shoulder blades down the back. We will inhale upwards and exhale back down. Inhaling slowly, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. Inhaling upwards, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. Staying down, you can take the hands out to the side, down by your sides, or up above. Choose what feels comfortable for you. I'm going to do about a 45-degree angle. And we're going to engage the muscles of the abdomen and the buttocks, and on the inhale we'll be rising up, and the exhale back down. So inhaling, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. Inhaling, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. So lifting one more time, the arms and the legs stay up. Holding it, keep the breath going as you hold it. Inhaling, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. One more breath. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. Back down. You can turn your cheek to one side, arms by your sides, and just relax. And take a moment with the other cheek on the ground. And then we'll come over onto our backs. And gently hugging the knees in towards the chest, perhaps rocking side to side, releasing those back muscles. And placing the arms down by the side. If you want more back support, you can place the hands under the pelvis. So choose what protects your back best. And inhaling your legs up, may all beings be loving. Slowly, slowly exhaling, may I be loving. It will strengthen the core, and a stronger core can give us a sense of stability. Physical stability can give us a sense of emotional stability. So let's do 3 more times. Inhaling, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. May all beings be loving. May I be loving. Hugging the knees into the chest. Placing the arms out to the side in a T shape, and bringing the legs over towards the left elbow into a twist. Gently looking past your right fingertips. Deep inhale, may all beings be loving. Deep exhale, may I be loving. Completely relaxing the physical body and keeping the breath steady, comfortable with the mantra. And then exhaling the knees back to the chest. Inhaling and exhaling the knees towards the right elbow, looking over your left fingertips. And you'll inhale, expanding, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. One more time, inhaling, may all beings be loving. Exhaling, may I be loving. Inhaling and then exhaling the knees back to the center. Placing the feet on the ground. You might want to separate your feet, let your knees fall together, or extend your legs out straight. Let them roll outwards, arms by your side. Let go of the mantra. Let go of controlling the breath. And completely relax. Feel the ground beneath you supporting you. The body becoming heavier and heavier. Sinking deeper into the earth. Letting go of all effort, all tension. Allowing the breath to regulate itself. We'll stay here for one more minute, completely relax. And then slowly bending your knees, rolling over to one side, and then using both arms, come up to sitting with your head coming last. And find a comfortable seated position, either on the floor or in a chair. So now we're going to do a few rounds of Brahmari Pranayama, which is called bee's breath. And we do this pranayama by using something called Shanmukhi Mudra. We'll be using our thumbs to close off the ears, placing the index finger over the eyelids, the middle fingers closing off the nose, and the fourth finger on the upper lip, the fifth finger by the lower lip. And when we hold this mudra, it helps to close our senses, and we will, on the exhale, make the sound of a bee. And you'll be able to hear this humming sound. So you'll take a nice deep inhale and then make that humming sound for as long as you comfortably can. And let's do 4 rounds together. When you finish, just place your hands back down and just stop and observe. Stop regulating the breath. Feel the spaciousness of the breath. Observe how you're being breathed. And just cultivating the mantra that you're giving out to the world. Meditating on the sensation of that quality, so loving, peace, just allowing it to be. So let's begin, blocking the ears, the eyes, the nose, the mouth. Inhaling I be loving. May you be loving. May all beings be loving. Thank you for sharing this practice with me.